for that.
Alright, there you go.
You're waking up.
All stations on this net. This is Core Center Base. ID detonation of friendly forces confirmed.
Assessment viscosity is very high.
On me. Striking.
Coming up. Alright. Rocking.
You dispatch Marine Corps basic.
This is the standard variant. We have both in the box that come in ACE, which is the CSRS, and the AT4 standard. Can anybody tell me the difference before I say it? Does anybody know?
One is usable in a confined space.
Yeah,
It has a
exactly.
saline charge on the back of it.
Yep, exactly. It's got a saline charge which absorbs the backblast, so it prevents it from, murdering everybody. So if you're in,
It also
not an
has
ace.
a slightly smaller warhead, slightly
Yeah.
less explosives, but it weighs more.
Yeah, because of the saline charge, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, when you fire it, if you fire a launcher indoors, generally what will happen is the pressure created by the backblast will actually reflect off of interior walls and stuff. Then it'll actually liquefy your organs. So, it might not kill you. Depends on the size of the room. It can just blow out your eardrums and everything else and stuff like that. So, they put a saline charge on the back, and it actually absorbs the effect so that it actually can be fired from confined spaces. I wouldn't try it in very confined spaces in ARMA, but it does reduce the backblast significantly over the standard AT4. You'll probably be firing both just because. So each one's about $1,500, and they're made in Sweden. It's an effective range of 300 meters on a point target and 500 meters on an area target. Anybody know the difference? Can somebody tell me the difference between a point target and an area target?
A point target, you're engaging a specific target.
There's like an area effect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just got both answers. So yeah, point target is going to be something like you're going to be engaging a target, like say an armor piece. Whereas an area target, you're just hitting in the general area of something and hoping to kill it with the explosion and shrapnel. Stuff like infantry groups, or like static nest or mortar position or something that's got multiple things that you're just trying to affect with the blast and not really hit it directly. It's disposable, so it's one shot. You fire it. It's a 84 millimeter unguided portable single shot recoilless smoothbore weapon. There you go, straight from Wiki. And it's made by Saab Bofors Dynamics. Alright, so there we go. That's the AT4. That's all I'm gonna do on the class portion of that one. Pretty easy to prep it. I'll prep one and then not use it. You're gonna pull the weapon, then you're gonna prep the weapon, which in our case it looks like you load it and you hit R. But really what you're doing, you gotta pull the safety, I think is what you do, and then you pop the sights up, it all the way back down to 100 in 50 meter increments. So if the target is sitting dead on a range, so if it's 200 meters, I believe this first target here, about 100 meters out, so if I set it to 100, I just should have to put my sights on it, and then line it up, and hold down for steady, and then you're going to want to check your backblast, so you're going to say backblast area clear, or clear backblast, whatever you want to say. Usually you're going to be doing this in tandem with somebody. That person's going to check for you, and they're going to say it's clear, or it's not clear, hold, or whatever. If you get the all clear, then you're good, and then you're going to call something when you fire it. I don't care what you say, rocket, firing, something like that, just to indicate that you're sending it downrange. Then you fire the fucking weapon. If you hear hold, then you should just wait, and then your spotter should give you the all clear whenever it is clear, because usually that might mean somebody's running across trying to get out of your way. and then once they're clear of the area, he should give you the clear, and then you fire. So just make sure you're listening and you're not just firing. You should call Black Blast. God, I'm freaking Jamal.
All right,
now.
Jamal.
You should call Back Blast every time that you fire an AT weapon, except for the ones that are propelled by a charge in the actual tube, like the Javelin. Javelin actually has no backblast. You can stand right behind it. It'll ring your ears are pretty bad, but it actually has a charge that launches the rocket out of the tube, and then once the rocket clears the tube, it has a little sensor on it that actually engages the rocket motor, and then it goes. So, but
Yeah,
these
they made it so you can fire it out of building windows.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. And then like these, though, they have pretty bad cone effect out the back of them. In Armorverse, you're going to watch out for things like solid objects behind you, building walls. If you're standing on a hill, like a steep hill, and you actually are firing down the hill, or you're firing level with the hill, and you've got the back of the hill, you know, in line with your back of your launcher, that's a bad thing. It's usually going to wound you and possibly everybody around you. So real quick, I'm gonna do it, or no, I'll let somebody else do it if they get it. So, what was the maximum effective range of a mic? What was the maximum effective range of the AT4 on a point target?
300 meters.
300 meters. Yep. Who said that? Undead?
Yep.
All right, come here. Call a target. I'm over there. I'll be standing over there when you're doing your pairs. I'll call a target. If you're the spotter, you're going to have your vector. You're going to range. And so you'll hear target BMP2 close. And then the spotter's going to obviously you're not going to have a person that's going to be calling your target for you. So that's just to give the spotter what he's supposed to be spotting. The spotter's job is to say identified BMP close, and then he's going to give the range. He's going to say 100 meters, bearing 5 degrees if the AT4 is not already looking at it. So I'll say identified BMP2, 100 meters, bearing 5 degrees, and then once you hear all that, you can call your backblast. If you've lined up the target, you're supposed to say identified BMP2.
Identified BMP2. Clear backblast.
You're clear. Now you fire. That's a hit. The M3 Maus, also known as the Carl Gustav Stoff, whatever. It's also made in Sweden. Also produced by Saab Bofors Dynamics.
I call that the Charlie Sheenus.
It actually shoots the same size projectile as the AT4, the 84 millimeter man portable, but this one is reusable recoilless rifle. Sorry. It is got various effective ranges depending on the warhead you're using. So if you grab the mic, you have a HEDP round, it's going to be around effective range is around 1,000 meters on dispersed targets, like soft targets. In ARMA, I actually think they limit the HEDP to 900 meters, so that's just a thing to keep in mind. But it is effective at 900 meters on like area targets, which we'll see here in a bit. The wiki says 500 meters against stationary targets and 300 meters against moving targets. Penetration will exceed 150 millimeters of rolled homogeneous armor, RHA. Say that word. It's also got the heat rounds. This is only two. Ace, I think, also loads the standard high explosive round. But, HEDP, you might as well just grab it. They're pretty much the same effect in ARMA. The heat round, however, is going to be your anti-tank, high explosive anti-tank round. It's going to have depending on which variant it is, which you actually look in the game. Somebody tell me which the variant is in the box for the heat round. FFV, what? I want to see how close they've got it.
571.
571.
Sure, why
FFV 751 for the heat.
Yeah. Okay. So
Dyslexia still counts.
stand by real quick. Check myself because you guys don't know. Oh, it's the 751. So that one's not even listed actually on here, but the 551 and so on, and all these other ones are listed. Oh no, I think they meant 751, but they put 571 because they are dyslexic. It actually says the effective range of this round is only 500 meters. It's a tandem warhead heat, and it can penetrate more than 500 millimeters of armor. However, in ARMA, you can actually range the heat round pretty freaking far. Like I think it goes up to 1,000 or more. Not 100%. We'll find out shortly. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the one that ranges up to probably about 1,200 or 1,300 or something like that. And I think that's because they're trying to simulate the rocket assist. It's got like an extra rocket on it that fires like a dual stage and kind of makes it go further. But I'm not sure what they were doing because again, that model warhead's not even listed on the wiki, and I'm not gonna look it up because in the Armorverse it's all based on what it can actually do. So M3, it doesn't have the animation for it, but the way this thing's loaded is, if you look at the back of it, kind of hard to see, but the back of the weapon has a like a opening port. You actually turn that lever and then you actually rotate the back open and then slide the missile in from the back, and then you actually rotate it closed and then lock it, and there you go. In ARMA, it just looks like you load a missile in the front. Of course. Problem with this weapon, also in ARMA. Anybody right off the bat? I'm sure the vet guys know.
Fucking heavy as shit.
No night sight.
No night sight. Yeah, heavy as shit. I don't really care about, but you know, no night sight. So you can't use it at night. The corner, because you want to make sure you have the proper round loaded. It should already be loaded if you have it in your inventory. If it's not, then hit R, whatever. This one adjusts in increments, but one thing to note is that it is bugged slightly, where it will, when you're using the HEDP rounds, it will increase in 50-meter increments until you get to a certain point, then it starts increasing in 100s, and then once you hit that point and then try to come back, it won't go into 50s anymore. So just kind of it's not that big of a deal once you learn how to aim the thing, but it's just something that's there. But it also adjusts range the exact same way you hit the up and down arrow. Everybody remembers I said that max effective range for the round that I believe this is supposed to be is about 500 meters, but this ranges to 900, so I'm assuming that they're doing some kind of rocket-assisted heat rounds to extend the range of it. And then your HEDP is going to have a range of also, it looks like 900, which is odd. I could have sworn the heat had a lower range. Oh well. Alright, so, or a higher range rather. Real quick, let me... So... Somebody give me the max effective range against dispersed soft targets for an HEDP round in this that I told you guys.
500.
HEDP, not HEAT.
Oh.
900, wasn't it?
It's 900 in the game, but in real life it's supposed to be
13 or
1,000.
1,000. No, Undead, you're not allowed. You already demoed one. But yeah, it's 1,000, so I'll just demo this one real quick. So, for something like this, you're going to use against infantry groups. So you're gonna say targets, infantry, dismounts in the open, far. That's what I'll say. Your spotter is gonna give you a range, so I'll spot for myself here. I'm gonna guesstimate it.
800.
Yeah, 800. So I would say targets, infantry, or dismounts in the open, bearing 13 degrees, 800 meters, and then the shooter should repeat something similar back to me to know that he has the same targets locked up. So I'll range to 800. And Gurky, if you can just call my backblast clear. So backblast clear. Rocket.
Nice.
And you'll
Right
see they
in
all
the
fell
middle of
over.
them.
Yep, and there you go. So that's the HEDP round. So that's the reason, if I don't know, this fun fact deal. I believe the Carl Gustav, what I was reading about it when I did some like a little bit of research on it when I was reading about it. And it's supposedly was actually developed majorly. Its major purpose was for actually like bunker busting, not anti-tank purposes. So like taking out in placed position and caves and stuff like that with with the high explosive type rounds, and then they adapted it to anti-tank roles to actually take out armor. All right, so we're gonna go with the rocket-assisted projectile range, and we're gonna say that its max effective range is about 700 meters against the stationary armor target, and then about 400 meters against moving targets. Now, who can tell me the country of origin for the Carl Gustav?
Swiss.
Sweden. Switzerland.
Somebody said Sweden. Who
Sweden.
said
It was
Sweden?
Sweden. I thought so.
Yeah, bring it over here.
Alright. To figure out how to get out of my...
Alright, so I'm gonna see if the gear thing works on you. If not, I'll just keep dropping them on the ground. So you should get an accept. Your scroll menu.
Negative.
Ace breaking
Alright,
stuff.
so
So let me identify a target. Identify T-55 far. 400 meters. 8 degrees.
Identified T-55. Clear
Copy.
backblast.
Clear.
My range.
Yep, adjust your range. That's
Call. You said 400.
roger that.
Firing.
That's a hit. It's like that. Makes things go boom. So next we'll do the javelin, which, freaking, I think it's the funnest one to shoot, just because, I mean, it locks on and it's freaking awesome. By the way, each javelin tube that you shoot is worth $40,000 US, and the clue.
How much is an A4?
AT4? About $1,500. So, and I didn't even go over. I don't think they have the cost for each of the rounds for the Carl Gustav, but I'm sure it's probably around the same as the AT4, given that they're the same size projectile and stuff. But the $40,000 for each javelin missile, and $125,000 for the clue itself, the actual unit. The tube is disposable. You load it into the clue, you fire it, and then the tube is done. It's actually fielded to replace the Dragon anti-tank missile, if anybody ever used that, which I'm not sure if it still does it, but it has the cool, I don't remember what it is. It's like the burst rocket, the intermittent rocket, so it has like the buzz effect to it, where it just does like a pop,
You have to
pop,
deploy
pop,
that
pop.
one to fire now, though.
Oh, do you really? Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it's a pretty cool system. If you ever want to mess around with it, you can try messing around with it on, I'm not sure if they're on the pub server or not, but you can mess around with them in the editor or on the pub if they're there. And they have a pretty neat sound, and they're just wire guided, like a tow. smaller toe, pretty much. But the javelin's fielded to replace that. It's fire and forget, so it locks on and guides itself to the target. It has multiple fire modes. I think that there's a third mode that's not modeled in ARMA, so we'll only go over the two that are, which is top and direct. Top is going to go for the weakest part of the tank. So, it's going to have a high arc, like a high ballistic trajectory. It's going to go way up and then come straight down on top of the tank, so it hits it in the top armor, right on the turret. The other mode, direct, is for if you have something in cover, like say it's under a bridge or in a cave or it got some kind of obstruction above it, you can actually fire it and the missile actually kind of comes out in a more straight trajectory and then angles down at a less of a steep angle, so it hits it and it goes underneath objects like bridges and stuff like that. So that's useful if you're engaging things in ARMA and maybe you've got them in trees and you're worried the treetops will detonate the missile, or if they're sitting under a bridge or anything like that. It's actually useful that you can actually apply it to ARMA. It's actually designed by Texas Instruments and Martin Marietta, whatever the fuck. Now Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. The newer ones, I'm guessing.
A calculator company makes the Javelin.
Well, they used to. Now, I think that it's switched over to... anybody know who Raytheon? Can anybody tell me? I don't know how to say it. I think it's Raytheon. Anybody know a famous missile that they're famous for producing? Written all over the side of them and stuff like that.
Sidewinder?
Yep. There it is, Sidewinder. They actually make the Sidewinder. I think they make a bunch of our air-to-air type stuff, but the Sidewinder is one of their biggest things. And then everybody knows who Lockheed Martin are. So the Javelin, what you're going to need is you'll actually grab the Javelin tube itself. Then you'll have a clue, which takes up your, it's called Command Launch Unit. It takes up a binocular slot, so you're probably going to want to throw your NVGs in the box whenever we get to that phase, and replace it with the clue. So to do this, the way you load a Javelin up and get it ready to fire, if you've never done it before, is you're going to actually select the Javelin, not the clue. You're going to bring it up, and you're going to hit R, and that'll actually just load your clue. And then there you go. That'll actually load the Javelin tube into the clue. And it's going to look like everybody wants to level the tube before they look out of it, but really the tube should be at an angle. And that's how the missile actually launches. Again, you're going to go to the Javelin tube and select it in your scroll menu first. You'll pull the tube. Then you're going to hit R. If you have a clue on you, it will prep the clue and prep the tube, like put them together. Usually it's a good idea to fire this from a knee, but I guess you can fire it from standing if you want. Now to lock on two objects, we'll do top down first, and then we'll do a direct fire so everybody can see the difference. There's two things you have to do. First, you need to switch to a thermal mode, either one, white hot or black hot. So you hit N, or I believe it's white hot, and then you hit N again, you'll get black hot, and then N again will put you back in standard, but you have to be in thermal, I believe. Yes. So pick whichever one you prefer. That's N as in November.
Fully zoomed in to lock on to.
Right, and then you need to hit the plus key or zoom in, whatever you have mapped to zoom, which is the plus key on my numpad. It'll zoom you in. You'll get like a square once you center up a target. It'll just be a crosshair, but when you start to center on a piece of armor, it'll zero out the rest of the screen, and you'll get a small square in the center. And then you'll start getting a tone once you center that piece of armor up. It'll make like a high-pitched rapid beep. And then the tone will change when you get a lock, and you'll actually get like a crosshair on the, it'll draw cross lines through the actual target. And that means you have an actual target lock. So remember, you have to be in thermal, and you have to zoom in. So a good thing to do is when you're locking, is to have it zoomed out and already be in thermal. Especially on motion targets, and then acquire the target in the center, zoom in on it, and then track it, wait till you get the lock, and then fire. Everybody got it so far?
Yep.
Alright. So,
How do you get your vector to give you range?
You gotta press R to load the battery, and then you press the fire button, and it shoots laser.
Yeah,
Gets the
center it.
range.
When you hit R, you should get a bearing on the bottom left, like in degrees.
There it is.
Yeah, and then when you left click, you'll get a range to whatever you're looking at with it centered up. Alright. So, anybody listened talking? I'm going to direct this one specific. Reaper, how much does each Javelin missile cost?
About $40,000. Ready for target.
Alright, target T-72 far, 700 meters, 6 degrees. Get back. Got it.
I have town.
No, repeat it back and tell me you got the right target.
272 far, 700 meters.
Roger that. All
You're
right.
lasing, I can see your laser.
Somebody is, yeah. Alright.
Rocket.
Alright, so you watch the trajectory of that if you weren't in binos or whatever. You'll notice that the trajectory actually went up and then it arced down on top of the target. So on the next one, I want everybody kind of out of their binos. They don't really need to watch the target. I want them to see it. Alright, get away, Reaper, and drop my clue. So direct should be green, right? Alright, now same tank. Now everybody compare this to the last launch. It should be a lot flatter.
Javelin prepped. T-55 long, 400 meters. Rocket away.
Alright, rocket. There you go. See how much flatter that was?
Firing.
The hit.
Rocket out.
And it arcs sharper down. I don't know if anybody...
Clear. Clear.
He just made...
Target's T-72. Going 20 degrees, range 335.
Copy. T-72 targeted.
Fire whenever.
Locking on. Firing.
Ooh, in direct mode too, it looked like. Nope, that was top. Oh, there it went.